inspiration ignites an invisible channel that opens between machine and soul. Fingers become mere extensions, hands only servants to a vast silent source, unseen yet irrefutable. I let go and lose any separate identity from this infinite fountain that pours a river of heaven through me. We merge like the star, whose golden cups paint the universe. Her creation absolves time. Now, emerging from conscious undercurrent, art is born.
Hey, welcome to Emergence, and my name is Dan Toker, and I'm your host. And today we're lucky enough to have a great artist. His name is Jon Tsoi, and I'm looking forward to talking to him. He is on hold right now, and let me get to Jon right now. Jon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, great. All right. How are you today? I guess you're getting hit by the hurricane.
Oh, so far, we without the power, but my cell phone's still working.
Well, I appreciate you calling into the show anyway, sir. It's really a great honor to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Jon, your artwork is kind of unusual. I really enjoy watching some of the YouTube videos, and your techniques are revolutionary. I'd like to ask you some questions about your artwork.
Sure.
But first, tell me, when you moved to America as a boy, you were a farmer, right?
When I in China, the Cultural Revolution, the communists, they sent me to the countryside. So that's why they make me become farmer about 3 years there after high school.
Right after high school, 3 years as a farmer. Were those happy years for you, or?
I think I just wasted a little time there, but you could still get some benefits, to make you strong in a harsh environment.
So when you came to America, was it first your vision to become an artist?
Yeah, I always like to be an artist. When I was very small, then my parents realized I like to draw a lot, so they found a teacher for me. So from middle school, high school, and the college, I go to the arts school. So I learn arts from there. So then I come to U.S. And after that, I just like the environment in U.S. So even I want to be a deliver boy, to just want to be here to be artist. So that's why I stay in New York area.
So one of the techniques that you use is blindfolded art. When did you first start that technique? Was it in China or was it here in the U.S.?
No, actually it's here. I think like anything, art for artists is more like a journey. So you don't know exactly what kind of artist you're going to become until you keep practice, keep doing what you're doing. And it took me many years to develop it. Just like when I in China, I really don't, we don't know I'm going to be in U.S. be an artist. Then I come here, I luckily practice Chinese medicine also. So I started developing to realize Chinese medicine about the yin and yang balance. Then actually arts is similar. And start realizing arts can be as a medicine. So also in China, all those religion, I'm very curious a long time ago to see why the people have to close their eyes to meditating and to get more internal spiritual feelings. I said, why cannot create arts without the eyes, just more meditating. So once I tried that and blindfolded to create art, I've been hooked. So since about 3-4 years ago, that's how I keep doing the blindfold arts up to now.
So, like you developed, along with the blindfold art, like different types of artwork. Like I read in one website where it said that you use a burning, like you burn the canvas. Is that true?
Yes, I have a few ways. Just when you blindfold it, you can do so many different things. So one way is you blindfold it, just burn the canvas. So need the fire as a medium, to create art, to need the fire to create art. So my art is more get into yin and yang with Taoism, with to try to be a good person, to follow the universe, to follow the universal energy instead by your own judgment. So that's why if you want to have a complete freedom, so you really need to throw away the mold. Don't judge by anybody, by the museum or by the gallery or by yourself, your eyes.
The yin and the yang, is that like a good force and the dark force?
Yeah, that's exactly. So when you blindfold, you create art. So they have yang is more positive, or yin is more negative. But see, with everything, anything, with the whole universe, including everything, so they have yin and yang itself. So, of course, traditional way, we all care about what our eyes say. Just like Andy Warhol says, I'm superficial. But I think I'm a little opposite. I'm more internal. So, but of course, they're superficial, make art, have some different feelings, but I'm more internal. So to create art more internally, but of course I have the product itself is more superficial. But it's about the yin and yang balance. So you create art, you don't have to be superficial. You can be internal. So you just you blindfold it, just use color, use the ropes or cutting or burning the fire, burning canvas. So the whole idea is you make things happen naturally and not being forced. So you need, but you don't control. You don't want to control, but the traditional way, you want to be more control. So the more you control, you feel better because even you get upset, sometimes you cannot control. But with my way is, so it's complete freedom. So I don't want to control. I want to let it go. I want everything happen naturally by themselves.
I was watching the YouTube video last night where you were cutting the canvas with a knife, and then you were tying it with rope, and then you were using, was that latex paint or plaster, or what was the?
Actually, so the sand paint I bought from Home Depot, I like the texture, and after I cut it and tied it, and with the blindfolded, and then I blindfolded to put the color on it. So with the white, right now I use white. So use the white to try to get more feeling depth, so more inside. So actually, the more white, easier to see the color. Of course, sometimes I do the opposite way. I just use a so try to get the back some white color from the background.
So do you ever have like classes where you teach people how to do the blindfold art?
Yeah, we do. I do have a lot of requests, but right now I'm kind of busy. I have a studio in Mana Contemporary Art Center in Jersey City. So actually they have an opening this Sunday. So that's Mana, that's MANA, Mana Contemporary Art Center. So they can search the address and they can go there to see my studio. And we have an open studio almost every month, even sometimes every week. So I have a studio in Connecticut, so I'm kind of busy. But in the long run, we may going to have some class, so individually or have a group, class.
You had your artwork in a lot of galleries now. I was looking online and I saw probably about 15 galleries, something like that. A lot
of many
places.
galleries. Yeah, some they're old galleries, some they're new, and in New York City and some in Connecticut, and I have some gallery in Europe too.
So you consider your style to be an abstract style?
I don't. My work is more no title. It's like my way I make art is unnamed, and really I don't control. I don't know exactly the direction because I use the universal energy, happen by reason, and I don't force. I really don't have a name on it. So of course, somebody else can put a name. Some they call me spiritual art. Some they call me blindfold art. Some they call blindfold as abstract art. And but that's they going to start going to put some name on my work.
I am also an artist, and I don't like to have a stereotype put on my art either. It's not that simple. There's a spiritual side to art, no matter what kind of art you do. I believe that it's always a spiritual journey. I agree with you 100% in that. It's not just, and it's interesting the way you tie it in with medicine. Like you believe that it's beneficial to the health to
I think
perform.
Art definitely is medicine, but see, we don't realize it. Even Picasso or Van Gogh, he's make art. So actually Van Gogh is probably too depressed. So he create art is more exciting, more thinking, more superficial, and big, and it's unusual. That's how he used the art to try to balance himself. So, and of course, Pollock could probably be a little over depressed too, So he wants to get the excitement and put more, outside physical movement. And try to balance himself, to take away his anger. And I think that's why the great art is a process of medicine. And also the people who enjoy art, and when they go to the museum or go to the gallery, actually they probably should feel like they go to the clinic. So you go there to enjoy the art. For example, red, so they have a lot of yang. So red colors definitely balance your back. And, of course, the blue colors at the other extreme. So if you're too anxious, too nervous, so you need to paint more blue paintings. So in this way to make you not so nervous, too anxious. So actually when I color the canvas, it's the same thing. I do performance and meditating first. So it's more when you're relaxed. So the people around it, say if they're very depressed, so they find, mine is more very quiet. So actually, when you're going down more quiet, so they can usually, when you go one extreme, they're going to bouncing you back to the other extreme. Actually, to help the people who are depressed. At the same time, if the people who are very anxious, so if you are meditating very quiet, so actually they bring them down. So when I start to cut the canvas, so sometimes they get cuttings is like a violence extreme. So when the people who are depressed, they bounce them up. And if they're very anxious, if we try to go more extreme, bring you actually bouncing you down, not going up more, because once the more you're going up, the sooner you have to go into bounce them down. So that's why they either way, depressed or anxious. So my performance, I do the performance art, so they can help them to correct their physical conditions.
So, like when you perform for a crowd of people, do you think it's still effective? Because there's so many people.
Because everybody have a different level of anxiousness or depressed. You find the people who go to the show or see the art, do the performance, music, or go to the theater or go to the museum. After they come out, they just say that, hey, today I feel so good. But they may not know they go to get those kind of visually absorbed as medicine, but they do affect the physical conditions.
I think you're probably right about that, A lot of times when I leave the theater and I watch like a kung fu movie, I feel like a martial artist, when I first leave.
Yeah. Exactly.
I
At least you take some medicine, you know.
Yeah. So how long exactly have you been doing the blindfold art? You mentioned it's 3 years?
About 3.5 or 4 years now.
Wow. And you have a trade right now. You're an acupuncture and herbal medicine practitioner?
Yeah, I do, because I think my art cannot without the acupuncture Chinese medicine, because it's more related with Taoism, with yin and yang balance. So that's why my art goes to a different direction, like a different journey. Just the only thing is this kind of journey, maybe nobody will want to walk that way, but I'm the one go through that way. But, eventually, 5, 10 years or 20 years or 50 years, people start get used to it. I have a different path of creating art. It's not only one way.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
It's really been great talking to you. I know your time is valuable. I know you guys have a big hurricane there, and I hope that you're okay. I'm sorry that you lost your power.
That's fine.
I hope it comes back on soon. It was really great talking to you. I'm going to go on with the show. I have a couple of poetry pieces I want to play. I really appreciate your time. Maybe I can have you talk to you again sometime in the future.
Sure.
It's really interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you for call me, and thank you, bring me to your audience. I'm happy to talk with any artist. I like everybody. Like with the Taoism, you have to accept everybody. Doesn't matter which level they're in. So you just know discriminations. So that's why sometimes people talk about, artists don't like the other artists. It's not that it's true. For me, I have to like everybody, because, see, the reason is you enjoy everybody's art, but everybody individually, you have to respect that. So that's why it become art. You don't want everybody to do the same art I do. So it can become boring, only just one direction. So art have many different kind of art. So you should enjoy it, and you should keep doing it.
It's fantastic talking to you. You have a great day, sir.
Okay,
right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, that caller was Jon Tsoi. Poetry pieces I wanted to play. This one's called Hotel Room by Robert Walker.
Every night the world from a different point of view. The plumbing diverse. Smiles identical. Respect is purchased in a community of strangers.
How are you today, sir?
We take meagre possessions from suitcases without suits. Spread them around out of territoriality, like dogs pissing boundaries. For just one night, the space is ours. Home, a tiny piece planted in London, Rome, Paris. See the photo? This was our room. Thousands have slept there since. I forget the room number. Mini soap, mini shampoo, mini bar, mini world.
Well, that was Hotel Room by Robert Walker, and that was a really interesting piece by him. It was really great having that caller, pretty famous artist there, and really unique techniques that he practices. I'd like to do some more research on him and look over some more of his art, which I find very interesting, and hopefully he'll call again. This next piece is by Suzi Smith. She's one of my favorite poetry artists, and this particular piece is called Marionette Man, and this will be wrapping up my show. Thanks for tuning in, and you're listening to Emergence.
Marionette Man, I see you dance that dance, and I know you're in the wrong hands, Marionette Man. They laugh and make you dance. You're being maneuvered by ill-intentioned hands. I want to cut your strings and see you walk like a man. They leave you hanging like strange
fruit. And I salute you, Marionette Man. I know the way you'd stand if you were in my band. I'd take your hand, we'd dance a dance, leave them all looking silly. Your audience loves to hate you. They woo and sedate you, wrap the rope around your neck, waiting for just one missed step. Marionette Man, I've got some magic here. Let's cut the strings and make them all disappear. I'll hoodoo and I'll voodoo and bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, whatever it takes to make you free. They're killing you, Marionette Man, and laughing all the while. You dance into their hands, bewildered and beguiled. They wave their smelling salts before you, then dizzy spinning you go. But you're stronger than all of them. You don't even know. Marionette Man, take my hand. We'll burn your strings on the blistering sand. I'll wiggle my nose and watch you grow. You'll stand on your own. We'll make it so. Marionette Man, I'm your #1 fan, but you are masquerading freedom just like they planned. You're so addicted to these vines that you forgot that you're divine, and here you are dancing like everything's fine. You're starved for the affection held here in my lips. You're so far from home you've forgotten these hips. Bear your innermost secrets. Hold your life in their grip. My fountain overflows. Get free. Take a sip. In their grip. My fountain